Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Happy Friday. And this feels a little different than a Friday that we've experienced in the last, a while now. I was so excited to get the kids up this morning and get them to school.
On delay.
Actually, like in the building to school. I don't have to worry about them right now, at least until school's out. And then, back to, hey, can we do this? Can I have that to eat? Can I take a batch of sugar and just swallow 3 pounds of it? This already feels like
every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
That's right. This already feels like the weekend, and I haven't minded at all. I don't know if other people necessarily feel the same way that I feel, but it's been nice, I went almost 2 years with my children living in a different country. So if we're kind of packed inside the house for the same time period over, 3-4 days, I don't mind it at all. But with that said, it's nice to just have it you and us today without having to entertain or feed.
It's gonna be a fun Friday. We got a good show. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's right. We got a good show ready today for you and for everybody else. The big basketball weekend starting tomorrow across the SEC. And do you see about this? There's apparently a balloon that belongs to China, which is floating over the middle of the country somewhere as we speak.
I figured somebody would have a 12 gauge and that thing would already be down. Yeah.
They say you can't shoot the moon. I'm not sure if you could shoot this balloon with a 12 gauge. Although, we've got some other things that might be able to reach it. I guess that thing would have come down by now if not for fear of falling debris, because that is one of the things, right? Gravity does work. Gravity most definitely works. So if you shoot that thing down, it's going to come down on top of something or people. So I don't know. Maybe there's a way to figure this out where this balloon, which China says is just for civilian purposes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we can shoot this thing down over, I don't know, some wide open space. It is a big country. In the middle of the country, there are some big, wide open spaces that the debris of this balloon would fall down. I guess these balloons are not made of what we usually think balloons being made of. You know what? If you're going to make like balloon animals for your kids, I wouldn't mind shooting those things down from the sky. I guess this is made of something a little bit different.
Yeah, they're probably from Comerica. That's for sure. Is there not air traffic laws of some kind? Do we not have laws in place in America that you're not allowed to have stuff in the air at certain? I mean, is there not rules and regulations?
Of course there are.
Yeah.
But balloons from other countries don't necessarily.
They don't abide by those rules, huh? Those laws aren't for them. They can do whatever they want.
This one is abiding by the same law. That's exactly
fair
right.
enough.
So I remember being all fired up when the International Space Station flew over Arkansas. That was a few months ago. Were we on the air at the same? Were we doing the show at that time? Were you on?
I don't remember you talking about it, so probably not. Yeah,
I guess that was in early October.
Because I came here late October. Yeah.
And that was cool. I mean, I remember seeing that thing in the middle of the night with my kids. We went outside, like, wow, look at that thing. It's just sort of like creeping across the sky. I don't know if I'd view this the same way. Not entertainment, not too cool. Just bring the thing down whenever you get a chance to. All right, so that is our national security portion of the program today. It's the usual Friday, although we got a lot of guests coming on this Friday. Aaron Torres coming up in just a little bit. We'll dig into what's up across college basketball and some of the signing period things that went down recently. And also, certainly doesn't look like Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC earlier than 2025, so I think we're probably going to be keeping SEC divisions for the time being, at least for another 2 seasons. Getting into the basketball weekend with Jackson Collier, of course, covers basketball at Hog Beat, part of the Rivals Network, Arkansas, South Carolina, tomorrow, 2:30, right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. The women's team is traveling to Auburn tomorrow, got a Sunday afternoon game, and these are 2 games that, well, for the men's team,
no excuses, Phil.
It's a must-win, don't lose sort of a game.
No, you can't lose this one.
Absolutely not. South Carolina has not only lost every game since their big upset over Kentucky, and it's 6 in a row, they, outside of an overtime loss against Georgia, have just been getting blown out. And really, I mean, this is the same thing that occurred with LSU. I mean, LSU, they still haven't won a game since their one win over Arkansas to begin SEC basketball. And LSU has just been getting blown out game after game after game. And good thing Arkansas continued that when they got revenge over them. But South Carolina has lost their last 6 games by an average of nearly 18.
They're not even in some of these games. I mean, not even close. I mean, this would be a great win. I mean, it would be I thought that A&M win was probably our best win so far, definitely of this calendar year. But, I mean, this young team, we got to go win this one on the road. Especially one thing I loved about Coach Nutt was he won the games he was supposed to win. You know, he never really lost. I know it's a different sport, but Coach Musselman, he win the games you're supposed to win. When you're supposed to win the games, when you're favored by 6 points, 8 points, you win those games.
And we haven't seen the betting line on tomorrow's game with Carolina. And we'll talk with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen later on. He said that line will be published just before we get him on the air at about 1:15. But I think, I mean, this is one of those games where it's like, this is not a game where you're padding your resume. A committee would look at a game like this.
It hurts you more than help, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a win. And like, this is the opportunity to hopefully get a win of more than 10 points. I think they can still take into effect the margin of victory, but I think it only goes up to 10 points. So beat them by 10, please, because that's going to help you out. A loss, even on the road to South Carolina, man, I mean, look, Arkansas is in a really good position if you're just going by the net ranking. I think the last time I looked, it was net ranking is 25.
That we have some talent.
It's still really good.
Yeah,
it's still really good. But a loss to a South Carolina team whose net ranking is way down in the dumps is going to hurt. And so this is the chance to get that first road victory for the women's team. They're playing an Auburn team that's been a little bit more resurgent of late. They've won 3 games in a row. And that's also been against a couple of good teams that Auburn's beaten after I think they'd lost their first 6 conference games. So Arkansas, it's funny, like the men's team, Matt, still does not have a road win. I mean, they got neutral site wins.
Not in conference play, I know that. Yeah.
No road victories. Well, they didn't go on the road in non-conference play.
And I remember you brought that up early when the season was starting about how the different styles and how Coach Neighbors, how they were kind of traveling a little bit more and kind of making it a little harder on yourself, which I know there's different ins and outs and avenues to wait, and you want as many home games as you can because you get more money. But maybe there's something to be said. Maybe you need to play a couple more true road games, because we played some tournament games, and even when we played Oklahoma, we didn't even play them in Oklahoma City or something. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, that when you played OU, that was in Tulsa. And I mean, look, you got a sellout in virtually every single home game for the men's team because, they've sold out of season tickets. So that is there.
And they're talented. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that men's team. Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. But the women's team has gone on the road and they've won ball games and played really well on the road recently. Even though you look at the South Carolina game, they got blown out. Everybody's getting blown out against South Carolina. They went into LSU and nearly beat the Tigers. Tigers, by the way, just able to avoid a massive upset at home last night. They went into overtime and beat Georgia for another. They remain undefeated, and so does South Carolina. But Auburn's a different story. It's a program that Arkansas has routinely had some success against in the last few years, and certainly is not a must-win, but I think it's a should-win, even though you're going on the road. We'll break in a moment because I know Aaron Torres is coming up. We can get into this Walker White story later on in the program. I mean, Matt, you know what it's like to be recruited by the Razorbacks when you're from the state of Arkansas. I think your recruitment probably a bit different than Walker White. How many teams had offered you when you were looking around?
Mine came down because I wanted to play both sports. It was OU and Arkansas and Miami were kind of the teams, but it really came down between OU and Arkansas. Those were the two when it got down to it. But I was a 3-star. I I wasn't a 5-star or 4. I mean, there was a lot better players in the state, or highly ranked players in the state when I came out. Yeah.
White is one of the more highly ranked quarterbacks in the 2024 class, plays at Little Rock Christian, ranked 8th amongst quarterbacks by 24/7 Sports in that same class. And he's announcing his commitment today between Baylor, Auburn, and Clemson. Arkansas did offer him.
He don't even want to go to Arkansas, huh? Well,
I think that was one of the first visits, if not the first visit, that Dan Enos made. Because I don't think Kendall
just
Briles
to gauge
paid
his
much
interest,
attention to him. And part of the question I had about this is, you look at what you've got at quarterback, and keep in mind, like, White is part of the 2024 class, so it's 2 seasons away, right?
Well, he's going to play. This is senior year right here coming up. Yeah, he's still in high school this year. He'll probably enroll early if I was guessing.
So you got another year of KJ. And of course you feel really good about that. You like the situation as far as the backups are concerned, with Jacoby Criswell and Malachi Singleton battling out for the backup position. Either one of those two, may end up being your starter. In fact, one of those two guys will be your starter, theoretically, as long as they don't, enter into the transfer portal. Fingers crossed, because quarterbacks do go into the portal more than on percentage-wise, more than any other position. And I just wonder, like, can you have too many good quarterbacks on a college football team in a day and age when quarterbacks routinely end up in the transfer portal?
Well, and he's an Arkansas kid, and so I'm glad Dan went down there and talked to him, and you bring that up, that the quarterbacks do transfer the most, so he might transfer back. So, don't be hateful to the kid and wish him well. And I know some fans get hateful, but he might go over there, and you saw Stetson Bennett had to go somewhere else and come back. So we don't know what's going to happen, but wish him well. I've never seen the kid play, but I think also that kid from Greenwood that's right behind him, I know Arkansas has already offered him. So
Archer.
Yeah, so there's kind of, it's just Arkansas usually produces some good quarterbacks, man, that can play. If you look in the history of the state, they do okay.
Well, and keep in mind, like, there's another calendar year to pass through where you got an opportunity to take that commitment and turn it into a commitment somewhere else before, name goes on paper. So, that's another aspect of this too. Like, if there are people on social media that want to tweet something nasty at a kid who's from Arkansas and decides that he's going to go somewhere else for a commitment, the word commitment doesn't really mean anything until your name is signed on the dotted line. You don't want to give a kid any reason to be like, you know what, I'm not sure if I'd like to play for these fans anyway right now, because look at how a handful of them have acted. And not that you're scared of competition, but we know Clemson's going to get assign a top 10 quarterback every year. So, it's and go up there and figure it out. I remember this was the same conversation we had about Jacoby Criswell. Same thing. And he's back. And look where he is now. He's at Arkansas. So I just don't know how, you get a kid who might view himself in one way. You go to another school, you fight for playing time. You don't get that playing time. You don't stay there very often. And sometimes you end up looking back to. And Clemson has a starter, the kid that's going to start. So they got their starter for the next 2 years at Clemson. That kid's going to be their starter the next 2 years. So, yeah. Well, it's a glorious day to be talking sports with you across our lovely state of Arkansas. The sun is shining, the snow and the ice is melting, and we're going to get into the 60s in the River Valley on Monday. Looking forward to that. And we will talk with Aaron Torres next.
5 seconds to go. Madden, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The best selection of Ford Bronco sports is at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal. It's really Broncos, Mustangs. You got a great selection of 22 and 23 Fords.
Yes, definitely. You know, it's something we're super excited about. We've got the special units that everybody wants and that every other dealer is still charging over MSRP. We are not doing that here at Harry Robinson. It's something that we've never done. We're not taking advantage of the consumer. Come down here and get that iconic vehicle and not pay over MSRP on it.
Nothing's more iconic than the Bronco and the Mustang. You've got both in stock now.
Yes, we've got the Bronco that's unspoken for. And hey, that Bronco has the 2.7 liter, has the hard top, and it has heated seats. We've got 3 Mach-E Mustangs and 3 Bronco Sports. Don't pay over MSRP. Come down here and see us at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford.
The dealer that has never charged one dime over sticker price, Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the Mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hi, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination. That's right. We've had enough. Thanks to our live market value pricing, our prices are dropping and our customers are saving now. And you can too on a great selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles, the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our non-commissioned solution specialists are there for you. Let them worry about making all the numbers work. It's what they're paid to do. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. For even more savings and protection, ask about our new Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They'll help you keep your car in tip-top shape while saving you money. So if you're like us and you want 23 to be the best year ever and you're ready for some inflation elimination, start today by driving better in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I was reminded every measure, riding trade winds, buried treasure. I got on fine with
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Friday, right after 11:15 Central Time. It's a different time out in the Pacific time zone where our friend Aaron Torres joins us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. And if you're not following Torres on Hogs on Twitter, then why are you even on Twitter anyway? Aaron, happy February, man. That means, you know what that means. That means we are going to be getting NCAA selection committee rankings sometime soon this month. We will be talking bubble teams and really mean something sometime soon, and the NCAA tournament is not that far off. So It is go time for college basketball, my friend.
Bill, I thought you were going to say February brings one thing, and that is Eric Musselman figuring out his team and Arkansas basketball peaking. I thought that's where you were going with that, Bill, and if you had said that, I would not have disagreed with you in one single bit. But nice win last night, or the other night, excuse me, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm telling you, man, it's starting to feel like the last couple years where Coach Musk doing Coach Musk stuff here in the middle to the end of February. I'm very curious to see these Hogs over the next couple of weeks.
Well, it feels like Arkansas has turned a corner, continue to play really well. Even the loss at Baylor, they played really well. A&M, I mean, I think what we're kind of looking for right now is still a signature victory. And A&M, the Texas A&M game can't be a signature victory. San Diego State can't be a signature victory. You're not going to get that against South Carolina. So you look tomorrow, South Carolina is like a must-win, don't lose, and then that's one thing they're missing right now. Like, they've got the ranking and everything. The net ranking. I mean, right now they'd be a tournament team. But no real signature win yet. They're going to get a chance at the end of the month, of course. And hopefully by then, it's like you're saying, they always are playing really well by the last week of February. So what have you seen in the last few games that makes you think that Arkansas has turned a corner?
Well, first of all, Phil, I think the most important thing is what you just said, kind of about the South Carolina game, but I think it's metaphorical for the entire, probably 3 or 4 weeks. They're winning the games they're supposed to. Obviously 3 straight SEC wins. And that Missouri game, it goes without saying, that was, literally maybe the worst officiated game I've ever seen. Probably should have been an Arkansas win. So, that's 4 straight wins. It doesn't count in the record books, but 4 straight games where you feel like you were the better team in the SEC. And then you have the Baylor game last week where they were the better team for large stretches. And so I think, first of all, the first step is just winning the games that you're supposed to this time of year, especially to your point, Phil, when you don't have those signature wins. That matters. But then, two, on top of that, I just think it's much bigger than that, man. And listen, he said it, I forget which game it was after, but he said, he's like, you guys want answers, and he's like, I'm not making excuses. We're here to win every game. But we were entirely built around these 2 guys that are not available. And so, I don't think that can be understated in this conversation enough. It's really interesting, right? Like, Creighton right now is, the hottest team in college basketball. Well, they lost 6 games in a row because 4 of them they didn't have Ryan Kalkbrenner, and everything they do is built around Ryan Kalkbrenner. So I bring it up to say, I just think that, some years with Musk and some years with any coach, it takes a while to figure things out because you don't know the personnel, or you're young, or you're this, or you're that. But you have a season-ending injury, and then a lingering injury where you haven't quite figured out what's going on, and is he going to be back, is he not? That's a lot to overcome the 2 potential first-round picks. One last thought, Phil, and I'll throw it back to you guys. I have a buddy of mine, Jamie Christian, who was a NCAA tournament coach twice at Mount St. Mary's. He's working with us at AT Media this fall. And he said something very interesting to me the other day. He said, as a coach, and Matt, I'm sure you can attest to this, as a coach, you'd rather have a season-ending injury than a lingering injury, because the season-ending injury, at least okay, this guy's not coming back, we have to figure it out. Where you have the Nick Smith Jr. type situation where, could he be back? How long? Should we adjust? Do we have to plan without him? Should we plan with him? Blah, 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 this and that. So what I'm just saying is, you have this insanely talented group that's especially young, 11 new players, and then you take 2 guys that everything was built around offensively and defensively out of there, and then one guy may still come back. That's a lot for any coaching staff to deal with over the course of a 5-month season.
Yeah, it's pretty up and down. It's wild. Everybody seems to think he's going to come back. It takes a while to get back into game shape, though. The kid's uber talented, top 10 pick, no question about it. And so you want him out there. It's tough. When you're looking at is it Tennessee and Bama in the SEC? And how much of this Purdue basketball team have you seen? Are they the clear number 1 team in the country right now?
So I don't think Purdue is a clear number 1. They are deserving of being number 1 in the polls based on everything that they've done. But, they have this incredible center, Zach Edey, 7'4", and I think they're really talented around him. but they do have 2 freshman guards, and we know how freshmen kind of are in the NCAA tournament. It's just a lot to rely on those guys. So I don't think Purdue is the clear-cut number 1. I'll take a step further. I think Alabama is the clear-cut number 1 in the SEC.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm not sold on Tennessee, and shame on me, because after the Texas game, so they played Texas in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. All year long, I said, I just don't know about that offense. They're taking care of business. They were beating the bottom of the SEC. They were beating the Ole Misses and the Mississippi States and the teams like that. But I said, I just don't know if I think they can create enough offense when they need to. And they look great against Texas, and I talked myself into, okay, maybe Tennessee is different this year. And then they laid an absolute egg at the O-Dome last week. And Florida isn't terrible, but it's also a spot where if you're a national championship contender, which they want to be, you go into that game and get a win. So, Matt, to answer your question, Purdue is deserving of being the number 1 team in the country, but I don't think there's some significant gap between them and a lot of other teams. And then in the SEC, I think Alabama, there is a gap between them and everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think, really, to me, what's interesting is Tennessee is probably the second-best team, but they've already lost to Kentucky. I don't think there's a sizable gap with A&M, with Arkansas, if they continue to play the way that they are. I think it'll be interesting to watch how this league unfolds over the next 5 weeks, especially as the really good teams start to play each other.
Yeah.
What did you take from Alabama just getting run off the court by Oklahoma? I mean, I watched that game, man, and it was start to finish. Oklahoma was physical. I don't think they intimidated Alabama or anything like that. They just were physical. They pushed them around and were the better team. I mean, it's not that they lost, because you don't expect Alabama or anybody to win every game from January through February and into March. It was the margin of victory. It was the way that it happened. And, I mean, so there is this clear separation between Alabama and everybody else in basketball this year in the SEC. They shouldn't go along with a 24-point loss on the road to, kind of an okay basketball team in Oklahoma.
It's funny, Phil. I'll tell you guys a quick kind of funny story, but, every week I go on with you guys. I go on in Tuscaloosa. I go on in College Station. You guys are my favorite, but that's neither here nor there. But I was on in College Station last week, and they were not part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. And so I said to the host, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. It'd be fun to see A&M in an out-of-conference game. And he said, I actually feel the exact opposite. He's like, we're playing well in SEC play. Let's stay in that group. And so the way that I look at it, Phil, is, every team has kind of tangible goals, right? Win this many games, make the NCAA tournament, win the SEC regular season, win the SEC tournament title. And then you throw this weird, random road game into the middle of all that, and it's like, Alabama is still a team that probably 4 of their top 7 guys are freshmen. And so, you're working towards this goal of a number 1 seed, of winning the SEC regular season title, and it's like, oh, you got to go on the road now and play this team that you know nothing about. The game means more to them because they don't have a tournament resume right now. They're at home. It's a big game for them. I didn't really take much out of it. And, I'll give myself a little bit of credit because I just kind of said how wrong I was on Tennessee. Everybody did ask me on Saturday, Phil, what's the big takeaway? What went wrong for Alabama? And I said, I didn't think it's a one-off deal. If they lose to Vandy at home or if it's ugly, let's revisit this conversation on Tuesday, Wednesday when they play. And then, of course, they literally destroyed Vanderbilt in a way that no Alabama basketball team has ever beaten any team in SEC League play. So, listen, I think everybody's allowed a mulligan, especially, by the way, not that they're allowed a mulligan, but when you're playing at such a high level every single night, you're just not going to be great every single night. And so I don't worry all that much about that Oklahoma result. We'll see if Alabama can keep it going because, like everybody else, their schedule will get a little tougher here over these next couple weeks. With a couple big games, but I just wasn't really that worried about Alabama after that game, and at least for one game, they kind of made me look smart.
There's one top 25 matchup in the SEC. That's Auburn at Tennessee. Any chance Auburn goes in there and gets a win on the road?
Yeah, Auburn's just the one that I'll say, and I mentioned kind of quote-unquote those top-tier teams. I really still to this point have no feel for them, and I'll give credit to Bruce Pearl. I mean, listen. Look at, and I don't follow the NBA very closely, guys, but you guys are close to Houston. Jabari Smith is playing lights out as a rookie. By the way, Walker Kessler, who was part of that team last year, is playing lights out. And so you lose those two guys, and you assume that there's going to be this natural drop-off, and there really hasn't been. Now, again, Auburn is the same as everybody else. They have to play. I think they play Alabama twice going forward. They play at Tennessee. They play at Rupp Arena, I believe. And obviously, Arkansas at some point as well. I think they still play Arkansas. I could be wrong on that. I know you guys played them earlier in the year in Auburn. I don't know what to make of them. They've largely taken care. Listen, it's what we talked about with Arkansas. It's what we talked about with Tennessee. They've largely taken care of what they're supposed to do against the teams that they're supposed to do it against. They protected their home court. Obviously, they had the loss to A&M, but that was an A&M team that is probably better than we're giving them credit for, and a game that A&M really needed to put themselves on the map. So I'll just say, that's one of the games I'll be watching very intensely, guys, tomorrow. But I just don't think I have a great feel for Auburn right now, and I'm curious to see those guards against an elite defense, right? The guards were the problem last year when they fell apart, and the guards we thought would be a problem this year. Well, now you're going on the road, you're playing an elite defensive team in Tennessee, and I'm curious to see how they handle that situation.
Got to ask about something that you've been tweeting about the last couple of days. Usually we would know or have a sense that North Carolina and Duke will be playing basketball on a Saturday night on ESPN. But this is kind of coming up and just surprising me right now, looking at the ACC schedule, and they're both unranked. And it's like, so if there was this going thought that for a long time the ACC is the best conference in college basketball, and usually that's centered around North Carolina and around Duke. I mean, you could throw in Virginia too in the last few years, no doubt. But there's also no doubt right now that the best conference is the Big 12, and they've got, it's like almost every team there outside of Texas Tech is at least in consideration for the NCAA tournament. You can't say that about the ACC. Although Carolina and Duke, I mean, they probably would be in. It's just we're used to that game having a lot of buzz, and it doesn't at all.
No, 1,000%. And from the Carolina Duke perspective, I am blown away because even when the rivalry hasn't been great, I think ESPN has done a great job of creating, or even when the game itself hasn't had as much meaning, I feel like ESPN has always done a great job of building it up so we want to watch it. And I don't get the sense this year that they have. And maybe I've missed stuff and whatever. And part of it is the teams aren't as good. But I'm blown away by how little buzz there seems to be surrounding this game. And I think it speaks to neither of those teams is good right now. They're not bad, but they're not good. And I also think the other thing, too, is what you said about the ACC, Phil, is one of the more fascinating things to me in all of college basketball, is that for years this was the gold standard of college basketball. And it's not just Duke and UNC. I actually think the problem with the ACC is that those second-tier teams that you expect to be really good NCAA tournament caliber teams are awful. Syracuse is awful. I actually think, they might force Boeheim out after this year. He had a dust up with a student reporter the other night that made him look really bad. Louisville is, Arkansas played them. I mean, they might be literally the worst team in Power 6 basketball this year. So I think that's what's hurt the ACC. But I think a lot of it has been covered up in past years by Duke and Carolina being really good, but they're not good this year. It struck me that this game is this weekend, and I don't ever remember it feeling like it has less hype than it does in 2023 here in early February.
I've seen some of the things with Boeheim, and I mean, he says, I'm not bullying reporters and everything. He just doesn't take their questions seriously at all. It's different between saying no comment or ridiculing a question, and I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it ruins his legacy or anything like that. I mean, the guy's had a pretty singular career. It's just the career probably should have come to a close at least a couple of years ago. And I hate watching these things because it's real. I watch them whenever I see it on social media, but it's just incredibly uncomfortable. And I can't imagine. I mean, it's not a good look for the school, but he also is. I mean, he's been there longer than a lot of us have been alive. So it's just a crazy kind of a situation for. I don't know the name of the athletic director at Syracuse, but it's just it's not a fun situation to be in.
Well, it's interesting. I was having this conversation, if I have a minute, and I didn't expect to talk Syracuse hoops here. Do I have a second, Phil? I know we're running a little bit long. Or do you want to cut it off here?
We're good.
Well, I was just going to say is that a couple things. Is that, one, I agree that the situation is weird. The team has been so bad, though. So I looked this up today to make sure that I had the stat correct. They haven't finished in the top 5 in the regular season in their conference since 2014. 2014! Now, I get it. They've made a couple tournament runs as an 11 seed, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But 2014 was the last year they finished in the top 5. Not won the conference, not finished top 3, top 5. So that's one. But two, I will say, I do think this is the year where I think people are starting to really lose their patience with him. I haven't had anybody tell me this, but I think I can speculate on it, is I think there was kind of this understanding. He had 2 sons that were in the program, both left after last season. I think there was kind of this thing of, okay, we're going to give him until his sons graduate. He'll step away. He's not going to want to do this at 76, 77 with NIL, transfer portal. Once his kids leave, he'll be ready to go. Well, his kids left, and he said he doesn't have any plans on going anywhere. So to me, that's what I think is now fans are like, okay, we dealt with you through a couple down years. Then we dealt with you through the 4 years when your kid was here. Now, you want to stay even longer, you got to start producing, and I could see it getting ugly here over these final few months if they don't turn things around. Total speculation on my part, but I think that's something that could be coming at.
Aaron, appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend. Always love these visits. We'll talk next week, okay?
Okay, thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me go a little bit long there. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Aaron.
Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Media and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast.
He brings it. I like it.
Yeah, he does. You want to hear Boeheim? Let me find this here. This was him to a student reporter. This would have been last week. It's 8 seconds long.
It's the second game you lost by 4 points in the span of 8 days. Why can't your team close out the games? We're done.
It just said, all right, we're done. That's it. Didn't even have an answer for it. I mean, tough questions get asked. Maybe sometimes it's the way it's asked. But
or who asks?
Make enough money, you can at least answer the question without walking away. 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-KO85 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com to set your consultation. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I always love our conversations with Aaron Torres, but I had to wonder, it's like, was he backing a truck up? Was there like
his Austin Powers moment? He was stuck in the hallway and just couldn't figure out how to get it out of the
Yeah. Was he like did he turn on the garbage disposal at some point?
He was making a margarita, I think. Yeah, in his Ninja blender that it was a 9 a.m. mimosa margarita he had over there. Get going. Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, Matt. The weekend's already started, right? So
it's like
might as well.
In the words of the late great Colonel Sanders, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
He said something about an elevator on the phone.
You think that's what it was, Christian? An elevator?
Yeah, it said it has something to do with an elevator.
Are you predicting, or do you know this? Did he tell you that?
He told me that,
okay.
But I didn't realize, it would be quite that obnoxious.
First, you hear the beep, beep, beep in the back. Scott thought that he was backing a truck up. And I mean, I've ridden in Aaron's vehicle. He doesn't own a truck or anything anywhere near it. He doesn't have the kind of vehicle that's going to make sounds when he's backing it up. But he's a busy guy. So anyway, it was just a little bit. It was a little bit jarring to hear some of those, so apologies to some of those people who don't like to hear an incessant beeping for the first couple of minutes of your basketball interview. 877-377-6963 to get with us. You guys got some Fish City Grill today.
Fish City, Bill. Oh my goodness!
What'd they bring you?
We crawfish, all the crawfish you want. I think Ty's posting some pictures. They had a roast and potatoes. Man, I haven't had a bad thing from Fish City, Phil. It's I figured you could smell it from here, man. I figured just coming through the airwaves, just man, it's some good chow.
I can usually smell some bad breath through the microphones and everything.
Did I just catch your cold?
Yeah, nothing as of right now, but it looks delicious. And it just reminds me of the show I did with you and Maddie in studio a few weeks ago, where I got to actually eat.
They spoil us, Phil. They absolutely spoil us on Fridays.
Well, Christian, I know you're lucky to be in studio today, filling in for the one and only Master Matthew Travis, because then you get Fish City Grill and the Lunch Bunch today. And I think that also occurred. Is this the second time this week? Didn't you guys get some
on
Monday too?
We pulled a Monday, Friday this week. The schedules have been messed up with schools starting back, ice storms all the time. Usually it's a Friday deal, and I won't complain about getting Fish City twice in 1 week. I mean, man, I'll tell you what.
Well, Matt, don't forget you can go to their Facebook page and you can check out their monthly chalkboard specials. That's Fish City Grill in Rogers and in Fort Smith. Let's see. We got a phone call from Scott in Alabama. I wonder if this is the same Scott that thought that Aaron was running a trash service in his spare time. What's up, Scott? How are you?
Hey, how you
an
doing?
Echo, so turn that radio off.
Can you hear me good?
I hear you good. And
Okay.
I hear myself over again.
I ain't got a radio on here. It's just I'm in L.A. is what I call it, Lower Alabama. Maybe that's the problem. But I wanted to ask y'all a question.
I got a couple of texts from you about. I hear that echo again. So we can't do that. We can't do an echo We can't do an echo here. So all right, what we've got to do is take the break and then we'll figure this out in a moment. For those who can call and don't have an echo, 877-377-6963 to get with us. We'll figure that out. We'll get Scott on in just a moment. And maybe it was a beer fridge door ajar. That's right, Scott. It could possibly have been that. Hey, there is another. We were getting into Walker White's commitment that he will announce later on today. Also today, LeBaron Philon is making his decision today. He's a 4-star junior point guard from Mobile. The Razorbacks are amongst his final 6. Auburn, Alabama, Kansas, Ole Miss, and Tennessee also amongst his final 6. So that's a 2024 player, and we'll see if Arkansas secures his services and his commitment. Hopefully, if they do, then that means they'll get a signing and a player. Hour number 1 to wrap up next.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years' experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresinc.com. That's Gray with an A.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Okay, Julie, have you made your decision?
Oh, wow, I have. This was a tough choice. I had such a great time with Brad, but I am gonna have to pick Geico.
Interesting.
Geico is just, sorry, I'm getting emotional, been by my side, for so long with great customer service.
I thought we had something, Julie.
I'm sorry, Brad. Geico is just always there for me whenever I need them.
It's an insurance company.
No, it's an insurance partner, Brad.
For the choice you can always rely on, go to geico.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
My soul straight down out of the world, but my fingers holding on to the devil. I know all my troubles are hanging your trigger. Take your eyes and your mind from the blood.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Our Valentine's Day contest continues at hitthatline.com. You can register now through February the 13th, and you can win just an amazing set of gifts here for you and your loved one. You get a romantic stay at the Arlington Resort Hotel and Spa. You'll get a $150 gift card to Richard's Country Meat Market, another $150 to Cupid's Lingerie, and you'll get 14-karat white gold and ruby pendant chain from Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville. That's valued at $560. You put all these things together, it's like over $1,000 worth of love and winnings, and those two things really should be going together. That's hitthatline.com. You see the Valentine's Day promo, top of the page. Click it, enter your information, and you can register once per day, every day through February the 13th. The winner will be announced on Ruskin and Zach on February the 13th. All right, Matt, Christian, who of you is single right now?
Christian, I think, went and picked up his lady yesterday. I think he's got him a Valentine. He can enter the contest.
No, he can't enter. He's an employee.
Oh, Christian.
I'll stay out of this one.
Okay.
No, don't stay out of it. I mean, this involves you too. You're producing our show for a couple of weeks, so you're not just a name with no voice.
Yeah.
What makes the guys happy on Valentine's Day? What is needed to keep Matt Jones and Christian Johnston happy on Valentine's Day? I'll throw some questions out there for you. Chocolates, roses, other flowers, steak and wine, steak and some other things, sports on television, or just leave me the hell alone?
Sports on television, that's pretty common for me, so the steak and wine would be nice.
Not too much wine, man. That'll give me a headache the next morning. I don't want to wake up with a headache the next morning. Yeah. On February the 15th, which is just another day.
Do we got to work that day? What's going on? Yeah.
Well,
I haven't even looked to see what day it'd be in. Is it the 17th?
Valentine's Day this year is a Tuesday. It's the day that love.
Oh,
is
it's the
made
14th,
of
February, because February 17th is Michael Jordan's birthday. So I remember that one, but not I didn't know what day. February 14th. Okay.
It's also the same day that college baseball begins.
Nice.
Love is in the air, right?
Jordan, he's all around out. He's a baseball guy.
He's a love guy too. Speaking of Valentine's Day and love in the air and all of that stuff, what do you make of Michael Jordan's son and Scottie Pippen's ex?
Man,
been a thing for a while now.
There's you just want him to be happy, right? Let's just
Hey, fun fact. My hometown where I'm from, Scottie Pippen's from there.
Hamburg,
Arkansas.
How do you like that?
How long does it take when driving into the town before you know that's his hometown? Is it
Actually, you'd be surprised. There's not a lot of stuff, that would signal that he's from there.
I figured there'd be a big sign up there, home of Scottie Pippen.
Right?
He's one of the best basketball players to ever walk this planet.
Yeah,
he was on that list.
50 greatest.
Right?
Yeah, oh, dude, he's one of the best to ever play the game. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had a golf course there for a while and didn't do so well.
Didn't that top 50 list come out? Was it the end? Was it year 2000?
It would have been like 25 years ago because they just did the 75 team last year, maybe. So it was about 26 years ago or so, like 96-ish. Does that seem right? 99?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see the NBA
because you had to add Kobe. Again. You had to add, well, they I think that's what they did. They added 25 more guys, and so yeah, I'd have to look at it too, but.
No love lost between those teammates, I assume. Pippen and Jordan still. I mean, it's kind of the other way around. Like, Pippen's gone after Jordan a little bit.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you say that about your teammate? Yeah, just weird, and the best to ever do it. I don't know.
I mean, you could say Jordan might not have won the rings without Pippen. You can certainly say the other way around.
They needed each other. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of times the team with the best player wins, but you need three. They had Dennis Rodman, who's another Hall of Famer. They had Horace Grant on that first run. Ron Harper on that second run. I mean, you win it as a team.
Hey, stay with us. More Hall of Fame conversation. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which we got into a little bit yesterday. We'll open that conversation up a little more after this.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
It's a new year. Why not put a new to you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the
rock and roll band right there. And we got another one from David in Little Rock. He reminds us that February 15th is half-price chocolate day. Yeah. AKA the day after, or why the heck did I spend all that money for last night day. It's like, you get your all of the Halloween decorations and the Christmas decorations and the candies and things that go along with it. The day after the holiday, it's all discounted. So I guess the chocolate, the certain chocolates in heart shapes and things like that, those are probably discounted more than anything else. Those the day after. All right, we got some Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stuff to get to here because we asked some questions that might have some answers. But we do have a couple of callers on hold and want to get to that first. Jackson Collier will join us from Hogbeat in about 15 minutes or so. He covers basketball, and he's also a guy that is not chalking up Arkansas losses to officiating. So we'll get his thoughts on all of that. But first, it's Charlie who's giving us a call. Hey, Charlie, been a few days, man. How have you been? What's new? Have you stayed warm?
Man, I've tried to. I'll tell you what, it has been a few days. But I did text, and I don't know if he can get read out loud, whoever's covering. I know Maddie's not here. But you got other buddies over there. So I think I did text. I said the tuna's coming up in 15 minutes, so get ready, get your popcorn ready. So I was just going to let you guys know I'm coming.
So I'm here. He's his own hype man. You are your own hype man, Tuna.
No, I feel like I wanted you to hype me up because I think you're like so good at it, man. You even, the other day I got I'll take it from you, man. You and Matt can hype me up. So anyway, I do want to say this though, about rock and roll. Like, are you guys were talking about back in the day type rock and roll, or like today's time?
Well, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We went through the nominees yesterday, and it's just like I think they either need to change the name of the museum and the Hall of Fame, or just keep it to actual rock and roll musicians, because there's a lot of crossover. And look, there's just crossover in music, which can be difficult to define sometimes. It's not the same thing as the various sports having their halls of fame. I don't know of just one athletic Hall of Fame necessarily, but you don't put baseball players in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and you know where I'm going there. But it's almost impossible sometimes to be like, all right, well, it's like Willie Nelson. You know, that's the real controversy is not the right word, but that's where the disagreement comes in. Like Willie Nelson most certainly influenced rock and roll musicians who are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. John Mellencamp is one of them. But he's not a rocker. He's not a rock and roller. Does that mean he's never played rock and roll? Of course he has. I just don't know. I mean, people want to be purists about it. And I don't know if you can necessarily view it that way. So maybe change the name of the museum.
Maybe so. You know, for me, my type of rock is more from, and I guess you guys would consider Creed that. I mean, he's kind of their group. I've been listening to Creed for years. I don't stop listening to them. And the group Stained or Stained, I love them. They're awesome. They're probably my two, you know, I don't know if they're straight rock, but they're two of my favorites. And I don't really have any today. Maybe you guys can help me out with who's really good in today's times, because I'm not up to date on rock as much. But I do want to say, Matt, tomorrow, I was thinking about it, you know, this to me is more, and Phil, you may agree too, like this to me is more of those wins we have to have more than anything right now, because of the fact that I disagree with whoever's going to call in here and say that a lot of the games haven't been caused by, I'm not saying the whole game was caused by officiating, but when the games are coming down to one or two possessions, you know, officiating matters, and we've lost probably two that could have went our way. I just wish we would have had one of them, you know what I mean? It changes everything, but now you're about to go to Kentucky, you know, and you're about to go to A&M here in a few weeks. So, you know, it's fixing to get tough. We got to win tomorrow. I think, Matt, more than anything, you talked about is the confidence going on the road and winning the game on the road. And before I go, I want to ask you guys one more thing. LeBron last night in his post-game interview compared his record to the home run record. I wanted to ask you guys, as far as records in sports, is the scoring record that LeBron is about to break, is that up there? Because I put that baseball home run record, to me, that's like the number one record in the world right now. And that's just in my opinion. Anybody can disagree. But
you talked about Henry Aaron? You're not talking about a single season.
Aaron and all that. That record right there, to me, is number one. But what LeBron is about to do, I think, is ridiculously good and crazy and unbelievable, and just a testament to him. And I know you guys know I'm a LeBron fan, but I just think it's crazy that he's got a chance to pass this thing, and not only do it, pass it at the way he's still playing. He's still playing at a high level. So anyway, I just think it's awesome. Anyways, guys, I'll hang up. Thanks, guys. Y'all go.
Charlie, thank you very much. With these records, the amount of consistency that you have to display, you know, I mean, that's the thing about Aaron, you know, how he got there. It's different than Barry Bonds. You know, Bonds is the home run king because of a 73 home run season, you know, and
single season, not the career. Yeah.
Well, he's the career record holder too.
I didn't know if everybody acknowledged him as the career leader, but yeah, I got you.
I mean, even if you don't, you can think one way or the other about Bonds and what he took, but you can't take away the fact that he hit those home runs. Those home runs left the yard. They went over the fence. They counted. So they're home runs. You know, the conversation goes from there. But Bonds had like this incredible peak, like a 73 home run season. He was mostly a 35 to 43, 45 home run guy.
They were walking him when the bases were loaded. You know, they were walking. I mean, he had a couple unbelievable years.
But when you look at Aaron's career, and it's the same with LeBron James, it's like every year, like Aaron hit 35, 38, 35, 39, 43 for years and years and years. That's the thing that's so amazing. If you're going to set a record for career scoring or career home runs or base hits or anything, you have to be incredibly consistent, and you got to stay healthy. And that was another ad. Aaron never missed time because of injuries. Barry Bonds, same thing. LeBron hasn't missed all that much time in his career.
He really hasn't. He's been very lucky. He's been, The great ones don't get hurt, though. Yeah.
But look, I mean, you could feel one way or the other about flopping and everything like that. But the idea is, I mean, the guy's been out there for like 60 to 82 games a year for his entire career, and has always played at this at virtually the same level. Maybe the rest of his teammates haven't necessarily, but
he had a 10-year window. He had a 10-year run where he was the best player on the planet. I thought Kevin Durant kind of took over the last few years, but Durant's hurt, and so I mean, the NBA's in good hands. But man, LeBron. If you don't like LeBron, you're just a hater. I mean, LeBron does he was the complete, could play 1 through 5. I mean, the complete player. But I saw where we were talking earlier. Willie Nelson's in the Highwaymen. That's with Johnny Cash, who he's rock and roll, right? I mean, I'm sure Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings and Willie make up the Highwaymen, which I guess those are all music legends. But as that group, are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because Willie's probably in there crossing over somewhere.
Doubtful that they are.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think it's difficult to keep track of who's in and who's not. You can go to the Rock Hall website and figure it out, but the names you just mentioned are more, in my mind,
folksy, yeah,
or country,
like
singers.
Bob Dylan style, yeah.
But Bob Dylan's in the hall in the Rock Hall for obvious reasons, but you still view him more as a folk rocker. But the word rock is thrown in there.
Yeah.
So, again, it's like we can be
Is
purists
Beck-
about this, or we can just say music.
We just had an intro with Beck in the last coming back from commercial break. Is he rock and roll? Like, would you? Because I mean, obviously he's a Hall of Famer when you get to think musically talented.
The song that was played sounds like rock, that's for sure. You know, so I mean, with guitar to me sounds like rock and roll, but it's a certain kind of a guitar sound. This is where we're parsing.
Yeah, I got you.
Just very small little details here, and I'm an inclusive sort of a person.
Rock and roll
when it
and
comes to
hip hop
halls
Hall of Fame. You know,
yeah. Meld the two of them together.
Yeah, then you solve a lot right there. Country rock and roll hip hop Hall of Fame.
Let's take Ryan's phone call here. Ryan in Hot Springs, appreciate you calling, man. What's up?
Well, he just mentioned Beck. About the only song I know from Beck is "Loser," and it gets played quite a bit on 100.3 The Edge, which is a more modern rock station, like with the newer stuff.
Yeah, rock and roll station. Yeah.
But y'all were talking about Willie Nelson, and all that made me think about Charlie Daniels. You know, that's one of the most country songs ever. Is "Devil Went Down to Georgia." But my entire life, I've always heard it on 94.1 and 97 Rocket or 96.7 The Rocket here in Hot Springs quite a bit as well. So that just goes to show, you know, that's a fiddle if you think about it. That's being played in there too, and that's considered a rock and roll song.
I love it. Yeah.
But the other reason why I called is y'all were talking about Valentine's Day. My wife has kind of started a tradition where pretty much every year for Thanksgiving, I almost said Thanksgiving, but for Valentine's Day I get clearance fishing baits, which is pretty awesome because a lot of times it's just they're not bad baits. They're just being clearanced out for the newer, updated version of it. I've got some pretty good stuff. A couple of years ago, they were cleansing out some Gary Yamamoto crankbaits, and I went and took it and actually caught about a 8.4. It was an 8 pound 4 ounce hybrid. They're on Hamilton later in the summer that year. Yeah, so that's kind of my 2 cents. I hope y'all have a great day and go Hogs.
Thank you, Ryan. It's good to hear from
that
you.
Hot Springs. Sound like that Hot Springs area. That's good fishing for the state. I mean, you can't beat that area fishing.
Well, there's a lot of great places to fish.
There
as
is
far
in
as
the
I know
state,
in the
yeah.
state. That would certainly be near top of the list. Getting through some of these texts here. Woods in Bentonville, he thinks the best record is Cal Ripken. That's one that I think you won't find getting broken anytime soon with the consecutive games played. Talk about consistency. I mean, that's the only way that you can set a record like that is to consistently be in the lineup. Jeremiah in Cedarville, big Kobe fan. LeBron is 4th in assists. I'm about to get the scoring title, but wasn't necessarily a Kobe versus LeBron sort of a thing.
They're
here.
different
The greatest
players.
all time.
Yeah, they're different. And you know, we were talking about Dame Lillard the other day. You know, when he retires, he's going to be the second lead in NBA three-pointers made because Steph Curry will be 1, Dame will be 2, because we're talking about Hall of Fame. I think he is a Hall of Famer. And people are going to look at his playoffs, not getting out of the first round a lot, and however you want to put in it. But I'd take Damian Lillard over Chris Paul, you know, and everybody's going to have Chris Paul in the Hall of Fame. He's never won a title.
I think Lillard will get in there. I mean, he's the leading scorer in the franchise's history and
Stud.
keeps pouring it in.
Stud.
I mean, he's
Love
got a
his
lot
game.
of time left to play.
Love his game.
I like this text here from Rod. Nirvana will never be in the Country Music Hall of Fame. I think that's a good place to end the conversation. You're right about that. They will never be in the Country Music Hall of Fame. But Willie Nelson can be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because Johnny Cash is. I saw that. Johnny Cash is most definitely in.
Right.
Dolly's in. Ray Charles. Ray Charles was not necessarily a rock and roller, but he's in there too. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that they invented a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to just be pure about rock artists being in this. So we'll get into more of that later on because it definitely gets a lot of people going. All right, we're going to get into more college basketball, though, with Jackson Collier from Rivals. We'll get into Arkansas versus South Carolina. And Jackson's thoughts on why Arkansas is not losing games because of officiating. That's next.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We were going across the bridge at Texarkana when he was down there doing some oil and gas work. When I was a young one, I got car sick really bad. Dad, I'm not feeling good. You need to pull over. And I was leaning over the seat. He said, son, let me get across this bridge. Didn't make it. Right down the collar of his shirt.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
It's a new year. Why not put a new to you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, the sweetest fruits of life come from serving others. And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I like the text from JB in Springdale here. JB says that Hall of Fame of noise. Yeah, no, I mean, it's Hall of Fame of those kids and their loud music that sounds like banging on trash cans. I think that would work even a little bit better. Jackson Collier is supposed to be with us here, but no one's on the phone, so we'll work on getting Jackson. Phone numbers on the on our little rundown there, Christian. So it's right there for you. Might have time for another call or a text at 877-377-6963. Arkansas and South Carolina getting set for action tomorrow, and 2:30 is the tip. Still don't see a line on Bet Saracen for that yet, but they'll be working on it soon. Yep.
The basketball is always a little strange that they, even though neither team has a game, they still kind of wait to put that line out there.
Christian, I'm going to send you this phone number if you can't get on our deal here. So we're working on getting our guest with us for this upcoming segment. What else here? Valentine's is for women. No dude should be hung up on it. RT in Fayetteville sending us that one.
You remember the movie with Jessica Biel, Valentine's Day? I believe it's about 2010. It's Ashton Kutcher, Jessica Alba, Lopez. I mean, a lot of people in there. But that's kind of thing. That's kind of one of the last. I don't even know any good Valentine's movies. It just seems like. But they're kind of just making fun of the whole thing. If you hadn't seen it, it's got a lot of firepower in it, though.
Well, I mean, it seems that the
Queen
menus,
Latifah thing, yeah.
The menus shrink and the prices go up on Valentine's Day, don't they? That's just a going rate.
Is Valentine's Day? See, I used to like to cook. Is it a place though when you go Valentine's? Is it a place where you get done eating, you want there to be a double espresso waiting on you? Like, is it a place you drink your red wine and your steak, but then when you get done, they kind of bring you out your little double espresso?
We also don't want to have a meal where you get home and you just can't move at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there should be a particular way that Valentine's night ends. It might not end like that the other 364 days of the year.
With a bottle of champagne, right? A little grape juice. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's actually going to make me feel even worse, though. All right, I think we got Jackson with us. Jackson Collier from Hogbeat, covering Arkansas basketball on the Rivals Network. Jackson, appreciate you joining us today. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Excited about this basketball game tomorrow night. Arkansas versus South Carolina. A lot of folks right now are thinking it's Arkansas versus officials. And I understand you go on the road, chances are the calls aren't going to go your way. And I tend to lean, I think the way that you view it, Jackson, is that there are always other things that you can point to outside of officiating for a reason why a team will lose a game. And that the officiating isn't usually as bad as one team's fans seem to view it. But the people don't want to hear that a lot. So I guess that makes you somewhat brave to be writing columns about that.
I was about to say, I found out over the past week, especially yesterday and today with the column, that people, especially Arkansas fans, do not want to hear about officials not being the reason for losing games or taking the stance that there's no vendetta by officials against the Arkansas program. It is like you said, growing up as a competitor, as a basketball player, as all these other things, like every coach I ever had, when we lost, it was never about, the officials missed this call or this. Like I vividly remember there are 3 games that a call at the very end of the game did have some sort of an impact, adverse impact, whatever you want to call it. But again, I still stand by the stance that no matter what that call is, whether it's a good call, whether it's a bad call, you have 40 minutes, 48 minutes in the NBA, however many minutes you have of game time to prevent the officials being in a position to make that call that determines the outcome. control what you can control. You can't control officials. You can control 17 turnovers. You can control shooting 50% from the free throw line. You can control all those things. You can't control what call the official's going to make most of the time.
Jack Nicklaus said the more he practices, the luckier he gets. And I see that with Devo. Devo kind of being the leader, having his identity on his fingerprint on this team. How big is that stepping up when Devo's the first guy into the gym, the last guy into the gym? Those younger guys, as a freshman, you need to be able to look up to one of the upperclassmen. And Devo's a guy that's a high-energy guy, maximum effort guy, and now be kind of that vocal leader for this team.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, this freshman class came in and really hit the grindstone, going to work and all this sort of stuff. But seeing a junior leader like Devo still putting in the work, getting extra shots up, getting extra hours in the gym, even though he's already been to the Elite Eight twice, his work ethic has only gotten stronger. So when you come in as a McDonald's All-American, you come in as a 4-star freshman, like all of these were 4-star and 5-star freshmen, you look at that and you're like, man, he knows what he's doing. We got to work to be great. And it's obviously paid off for Devo. I think over the last 7 games, he's shooting over 40% from 3. So he's on his hottest streak as a Razorback. I think he's averaging over 16 points a game in that stretch, too, rebounding well, still defending at a really high level. So him taking over a leadership role in this team, it's really elevated his own game. It's elevated everybody else around him, too. Anthony Black's really stepped up. Ricky Council's had a re-emergence kind of over the last couple of games after a short lull. So I think it really speaks volumes what Devo means to this team and the leadership that he provides, and it really has helped turn around the season.
And it's funny you mention Ricky. I love Ricky's game. The thing I like about our guards, Jackson, is they're all unselfish. They really don't care who scores, although Ricky is our horse. But he's a willing passer as well, and I think that's why this team is able to shoot such a high field goal percentage.
Oh, 100% agree. I think sometimes they are too unselfish.
Right.
Though. I think sometimes it's a good philosophy to have. You want to pass up a good shot for a great shot, but when that shot clock's winding down, you have a good shot. You don't want to keep passing it around and have to force something up. So maybe a little too unselfish at times, but that's not the worst problem to have in the world. If you're having all these guards, Anthony Black, a potential lottery pick in the NBA draft, Devo Davis playing like an all-SEC caliber guard, Ricky Council, former 6th man of the year in the American Conference and playing really well, like the 3rd or 4th leading scorer in the SEC. And you have all those guys, all that talent, and you're sitting here saying, well, they might be too unselfish sometimes. That's not exactly an issue.
Yes or no, Mikal Mitchell, when healthy, can be a guy that can impact the team in the way that Trey Wade did last year. Now, I don't see Mikal being a guy that, when you least expect it, drops 20 like you saw Wade do a couple of times last season. But he's incredibly strong, defends the basket well. You loved all the blocked shots. I mean, there's just an aspect of how he plays that, you're looking for a forward that you can count on right now. You know what I mean? Like, you feel really good about your backcourt. With your front court, you're still kind of searching a little bit since Brazile went out. Makai, I think, is a guy you can count on. Graham, I don't know very much. I think you get uneven performances from Graham. Mikal, with the thought that you put him in there and you're going to get solid defense, you'll rebound well as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Like, we were looking, Jackson, for some sort of change in the lineup. Muss even hinted about lineup changes. We're wondering, well, who's it going to be? It was Wade last year. Could it be Mikal this year?
It certainly seemed that way. I mean, I think you look at Mikal, and, his minutes have gone up against bigger opponents, and he's really thrived in that role. I mean, obviously, you're playing bigger opponents in the SEC, against Alabama, against Vanderbilt, and most recently against Texas A&M. And I feel like when they go those bigger lineups, when they play both the twins either together or they interchange them, I feel like it's one of the two of them really has a breakout game. And more often than not, it's Makai. Last night it was, not last night, but Tuesday it was Mikal. And, I mean, he almost put up a solo triple-double. He had 9 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I think the way that he plays and what makes him so good is that he has great size, he's 6'10", 6'11", but he's also pretty built. He's physical. But he's light on his feet. So he can, I think the reason he can block so many shots is obviously he has really good feel for the game. He can read defenses really well. I think he's light on his feet and gets off the floor a lot faster than opponents really expect him to. And that is huge. And also, I mean, both the twins are just glass cleaners. They have insanely high rebounding rates, rebounding percentages. They're invaluable, securing possessions, closing out possessions for other teams, and then now they're starting to rebound on the offensive glass too, and creating more possessions for Arkansas. I think you look at back to the original question about Makel Mitchell. He has really started honing his game on the rebounding end on both ends of the floor. And that's like an intricate role player like Trey Wade. You know, there were times last year where Eric Musselman was like, well, Trey, we need to get you in the stat column. You didn't record a stat. You're playing good defense. You're being physical. You didn't have any rebounds. You didn't have any assists. Didn't have any points. Then right after, you know, Musselman kind of mentioned that in a press conference, then you saw Trey Wade getting like 5 rebounds and 4 points and a couple assists and like starting to piece together that role and find that role that he needed to fill while being productive as well. I think Makel is doing that now. It's taken him a little bit, and now he's starting to rebound really well. He's still blocking shots really well. He's a really good interior defender.
You know, Coach Nutt, I know it's different sports, but they're about halfway through the season. He'd say it's time for the freshmen to not be freshmen anymore. And I say that to say we need to go get a road win. Do they sense that? Is there any heavy feelings on their back? I mean, they don't get this win. You kind of look, where is it going to be? So they can kind of get that monkey off their back. And it starts to get heavy when you don't win any games on the road.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is a game that you really cannot lose this game. I mean, it's on the road in a high major basketball conference, in the SEC, conference opponent. And South Carolina's so bad, it's still a quad 4 game. You drop this one, and your NCAA tournament hopes are bleak. I think they're really pushing the narrative that they're not going to look down on South Carolina no matter how bad they are. They're not going to overlook the opponent. They're going to go in, they're going to do business, and they're going to do everything they can to secure a win, because that'll be 4 conference wins in a row. That'll be their first road victory in conference. And, you know, maybe that breeds more confidence. We saw that after LSU and Ole Miss. A lot of people were talking about, oh, well, those are bottom dwellers, basement dwellers in the SEC. Winning those games at home doesn't really do much. Fair point, but this team was struggling to find wins, and they won. Built a lot of confidence, dang near beat Baylor at Baylor, and then come back and you beat Texas A&M. It's all about building confidence. Winning a game on the road, regardless of the opponent, would do wonders for the psyche of this team.
Is can't lose the same as must win? Are these in the exact same category?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I would probably put them right there beside each other. I mean, a win won't help you as much as a loss would hurt you. So I guess that's why I phrased it as a can't lose. But if you don't lose, then you're going to win. So,
yeah. What about South Carolina should Arkansas or fans be worried about for this game? Because, you know, I mean, I think a lot of fans look at the record, look at the amount of points that Carolina's been losing games by, and just sort of paper over this. Of course, they're going to watch it and everything, but you go in like almost expecting a blowout. At least I do. And the team's going to look at it in a much different way. You know, I mean, they got to scout. They got to treat this opponent as if they're incredibly dangerous. So what would they be looking at today?
Well, obviously, they have a really, really talented freshman in Gigi Jackson. He is, bar none, he was one of the top recruits coming out of high school, and he has really played well this year. And, you know, he always has that scoring threat, the rebounding threat, really do-it-all threat. So he's one guy, and Musselman has been great in his time at Arkansas at kind of removing an opponent's best player from really making as big of an impact as they normally do. So I think that's one thing to look out for, is kind of removing Gigi Jackson from making an impact. So Musselman also talked about in his presser previewing, you know, South Carolina's a good scoring team. They can shoot the ball from the perimeter, sometimes get to the free throw line, all that sort of stuff. So can't just relax on defense or anything. Still got to contest the threes and try to shut down Gigi Jackson.
Yeah, I'm with you. Don't let them hang around. Get up there, try to get a 7-8 point lead, and just kind of keep it there, because you know it's going to be a game of runs. And when you're on the road, South Carolina will make a couple runs, and it's going to start with defense. As long as we get out there and play our defense the way we can, we should be able to beat this South Carolina team.
Jackson, last thing I got to ask you about.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think this is a game that Arkansas knows going into it that they're going to win, or that they need to win, and they're going to go and get business done. I don't think Musselman is going to let them overlook this opponent at all. I really think that, they're going to be drilled into their heads all week, probably already has been. Got to win this game, going to win this game. Let's just take it one game at a time and move on to Kentucky.
Jackson also knows his music very well. We've talked about the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I kind of think they might need to take the words rock and roll off of it. Otherwise we're just going to be a little bit too puritanical about who's a rock artist and not. Jackson has some very specific thoughts about Warren Zevon, who most people know just for Werewolves of London. But, I mean, he was known as like a songwriter in Los Angeles in the 70s, influenced a ton of people, and you might just know the one song, but there are a lot of artists in the hall right now that would point to Warren Zevon being one of their greatest influences, if not the greatest influence in their career. So I'll give you 60 seconds on Warren Zevon here, Jackson.
I think Warren Zevon is one of the great songwriters of all time, just personally. I was introduced to him by watching an old TV show called Californication from the early 2000s. Whenever the main character was an author, whenever he finished writing a book, his phrase would be whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. Started listening to him there, and he's just a great poet. He's a flawed character who really tried hard to redeem himself throughout his life, largely did so. Has written some of the most amazing lyrics of all time. He was a dear friend to David Letterman. He filled in with the Tonight Show band a lot. I think he played the Letterman show something like 10 to 17 times, something like that. And then for his last performance on Letterman before he died, he got to perform pretty much the entire hour-long show special was just Warren Zevon talking and playing his music. And it is just beautiful, and it's some of his best live work that he ever did, and he's sitting there dying. It's heartbreaking. It's all the things, but he is fantastic. Definitely recommend anybody that wants to explore him, listen to his album, Excitable Boy. Great album.
Jackson, it's great talking with you. Basketball, music, whatever. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it again sometime.
Thanks, Jackson.
You got it. Jackson Collier from Hogbeat, part of the Rivals Network. And when you're watching the Razorbacks tomorrow, 2:30 on the SEC Network, get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina for half-price apps and half-price taps. They do that during every televised Razorback game, as they're open Tuesday through Saturday at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith. That's right across from the Harps grocery store. And if you get over there today, it's fajita specials. Chicken fajitas are $10. Steak fajitas are $11. You get your sides with it, and flavored margaritas are just $5 today. That's all day long. Joe's Grilling Cantina, where you can watch sports and enjoy yourself. You can go to joesportsmith.com or download the Waiter app to put in an order as well. And we'll be back with more Halftime next.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Shot to the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
Did Cupid shoot you with a crossbow of drama instead of an arrow of true love? Don't let that little cherub ruin the rest of your life. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to stop the bleeding. Schedule a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Fast, reliable, local. 3 reasons to choose Dobson Fiber for your business internet and phone needs. Why is Dobson better? Because we're an all-fiber network, 100%. The Dobson network includes over 4,900 miles of fiber optic cable. And because we're all fiber, we have over 99% uptime. Come work with real local people. We've lived and worked in the communities we've served for 85 years. Choose Dobson Fiber for your business today. Visit us at dobson.net.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, I just realized I'm not sure how much of the basketball game tomorrow I'll have a chance to watch. It's not a really long flight to Auburn from Fayetteville. It's maybe be like an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So it's like a 1:30 flight, 2:30 tip. Maybe be able to land and like put it on the phone and watch like that. It's nice to have these technologies now, and don't want to miss that game. Don't want to miss any of these games. I would mention earlier. I don't know if I'm saying the young gentleman's name properly. LeBaron Filan, 4-star junior point guard from Mobile, announced for Auburn. He's committed himself to Auburn, choosing the Tigers over the likes of Alabama, Kansas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Arkansas. So, hey, a good chunk of SEC programs wanted this kid, and he's staying in state, Auburn, and says he believes Bruce Pearl can get him to the next level with the greatness of coaching he has. Nice way to put it. 877-377-6963. Now, that's an in-state kid. You can imagine what's coming at him from the Alabama fans right now, right? I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, it's like
Alabama's considered the best team in the country by a lot of people, yeah.
Auburn, I guess, has I don't know how many of the Alabama players under Nate Oates have made it to the NBA by now. It's been a couple of them at least.
Yeah, that was Avery Johnson. I was thinking some of those guys that went. I know the little guard Claxton went to Cleveland, but that was a few years back. Big Shot Bob, man, one of my favorite players ever. Robert Ory, Big Shot Bob. He's an Alabama guy.
That's right.
Number
Justin
25.
Asked if the young man is related to Darius Philon, former Razorback, who was also from Alabama. That I don't know. I'd noticed the last name, so I wondered about that, but I'm not sure exactly if he is related to Darius Philon or not. So Anaya Smith is going to return to Texas A&M. Outstanding wide receiver that suffered a leg injury against the Razorbacks in Jerry World this past September. So they will get – now they don't have Devin A-Chain. He announced for the NFL draft
that dude
early December.
Can go.
Smith is really good. I mean, he's a great wide receiver that now Bobby Petrino will have a chance to figure out how to use him properly. And
how do you say that other guy's last name? The guy that's declared for the NFL?
A-Chain.
A-Chain. That dude is a dude I'm talking. Like, I don't know. I don't know how healthy he is, but he's a guy that will be playing. I don't know where he'll go because he got hurt. Every single team wants that guy. That dude can go. Yeah.
Well, I think Smith is really good as well. It's just he didn't get that much of an opportunity to play this last year. I mean, it was like 3.5 games.
And if you got some speed, that Petrino running all those crossers and your little out and up, I mean, man, he's going to get some chances to show it off. No question about it.
That's the thing under that offense. I guess you would expect under an offense that previously was run by Jimbo Fisher, you'd have that chance. But, man, under Bobby Petrino, he's going to have even more of an opportunity. Hour number 3 of halftime is approaching. We'll wrap up the second hour in just a moment. We've got time for a call or a text at 877-377-6963. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience.
Getting me going through here, Matt, about some of the other sports and the longest tenures that are still active as far as being a general manager. And I view athletic directors, too, as general managers, but they have a bigger job because therefore they are the GMs of all the sports on each campus, which might not be the right way to view it. Because it's like I've got this conversation with Dave Van Horn about Arkansas baseball. It's like the ability to actually coach the game and manage the game is like a getaway from all the other stuff. Roster management, worrying about
very true.
Worrying about the buildings. You know, I mean, you don't just have a ballpark. You've got two other buildings that are multi-million-dollar facilities that go into that. I mean, it's a bigger job than just the games itself when you're the head coach of any major athletic program on a college campus.
Yeah, and the relationships you have from when you're telling mama you're going to take care of their baby when they're 17 years old, you know, you're going to watch over them, to when you're at your professional level where it really is more of a business. So it is, man. I think there's a lot more on their plate for these college guys than there is in the professional ranks.
The NFL, Jerry Jones is the longest tenured general manager. Now, of course, he's paying himself to do it. I don't know if he actually does pay himself a salary as far as that's concerned, but when he took over ownership of the Cowboys and Tex Schramm resigned, Jerry's been the general manager since 1989.
He's had a lot of success, too. I mean, this is early on. It's been since 99. I mean, they won a road playoff game this year. I don't think Dak's taking you anywhere farther than that. I mean, I just don't see Dak winning an NFC championship game, you know.
You know what? I don't view the Cowboys as being like a dysfunctionally run team. I just don't. Right now, they just don't have a quarterback good enough.
Yeah,
they're paying
that
him
defense,
an astronomical
man.
amount of
You
money.
wasted Zeke Elliott. Like what Zeke might have 1 year left. Really, like one. He needs another guy with him though. You might be able to get 2 out of him. But yeah, you got that defense that is so. Just everywhere. There's Michael Parsons is a man. I mean, that dude is and number 7, that corner they got out there can cover anybody. That defense can. Oof. Vanderbosch, they got it.
Mike Brown, owner of the Bengals. He's been their general manager since 1991. Belichick, still GM, even though I think he shared some of those duties with Scott Paoli for a while, but it's just Belichick now and has been for a long time. Greg Popovich has the final say on any transactions or signings of the draft with the Spurs.
Speaking of them, since Timmy Duncan's left, I'm trying to think. Kawhi Leonard was there, and then San Antonio really hadn't been the last few years. They had that run. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Robert Horry, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. Man, they could go. Denny Nel Negro. Woo.
Pat Riley's been in charge of the Heat since 1995.
95. He was the Showtime Lakers to the Heat, man. He'd be a guy you'd like to play for. Pat, would you like to have sit down, have a beer, to hang out with him, eat some?
Have a lot of stories to tell.
Eat in some mob place, some Italian place.
Don't forget about the Knicks. He was the coach.
Yeah, he was. Now he wasn't the coach. Wasn't that Van Gundy when they were at 8 seed and made it to the NBA championship? Latrell Sprewell, Patrick Ewing. They got in as an 8 seed and ended up. I want to say it was the Rockets. Ended up beating the Rockets won for one of their back-to-back titles.
One of their back-to-back titles, that's right. And as far as NCAA Division I sports, the longest tenured athletic director is Joe Castiglione at Oklahoma since 1998. And Mitch Barnhart has been at Kentucky since 2002. So he's going on, this is 21st year being the athletic director there at Kentucky. Of course, we're doing a show that's focused on Arkansas athletics. 33 years, Frank was the athletic
legend.
director. And
Absolutely
that was after all
legend.
the time as the head coach of the football team.
That's such a good dude. Just being around Frank, the little that I was around him, always nice to me. They got that assistant coach award too, and one of the best awards in college coaching to the best assistant, the Frank Broyles Award.
For very, very good reason. All right, hour number 3, the golden hour on a Friday is approaching. That's right. It's the start of the weekend. Neil Atkinson with Bet Saracen joins us at 1:15, and we got time for calls and texts. So get with us at 877-377-6963 for halftime.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on. Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma. Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a big improvement in the weather. We're looking at sunshine from start to finish. Our high this afternoon, upper 30s to low 40s. Clear and cold tonight. And overnight low will drop down in the mid to upper 20s. We're going to be even warmer on Saturday with our high in the upper 40s. Sunday on our way to the upper 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The Hit That Line podcast network is now available on Pandora Music and Podcasts. Just open your app or browser and search Hit That Line.
I hate everything you just said.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Really impressed with AB's toughness and willingness to give himself up for the team. We knew that he was not going to be fully healthy. The latter part of the Baylor game, we knew that he was not going to be even close to being healthy the other night against Texas A&M. But he's not worried about his stats. He's worried about trying to help the Arkansas Razorbacks win basketball games.
Eric Musselman talking yesterday in a preview of tomorrow's game at South Carolina, talking about the toughness displayed by Anthony Black. And I think Matt Jones, when you watch Black play, you know there's a toughness to him. But what Muss is speaking about is his ability to play while hurt. And I didn't realize until I was watching the A&M broadcast from the other night, Tuesday, that, well, they said that his knee had swollen up to the size of a softball, and yet he was still out there dealing with that kind of pain. And, I mean, I think if you're Anthony Black, you just expect that that's the way that people are going to play against you. You're a big physical point guard, 6'7". He's not afraid to tangle it up. I think anybody that would have been a wide receiver in high school.
He's not scared out there.
Look, I mean, honestly, what people will point to wide receivers as being divas and everything like that. You got to fight for that football.
Basketball players more divas than any wide receiver. So get out of here. I mean, James Harden flop. I mean, it's not. You take a group of high school kids that don't have a Kevin Durant or a Nick Smith, and you have the football team play the basketball team in high school. The football team wins. Like, it's just not. They're soft. There's a softness to basketball players that football players don't have. That's very true.
I'd be interested to see Black deliver the hit. To be a 6'7" cornerback, wouldn't that have been interesting?
Coming down and blocking the outside linebacker on a sweep or coming across on a pick route. Yeah, knowing how to use. That's why he knows how to use his body. Angles, and understands that a lot better. I think he's grasped some of these concepts at a younger age.
South Carolina, a team that's lost 6 games in a row since they beat Kentucky on the road. They do not have a home conference win this year. Colonial Life Arena can be a really difficult place to play against a good South Carolina team. I see this with women's basketball, and we were there a couple of weeks ago. And, I mean, they get more fans for the women's games than they do for the men's games, and for obvious reasons. Dawn Staley has built South Carolina women's basketball into the most dominant program in basketball, men or women, right now. And I think they're on their way to another national championship. They look unbeatable. They truly look unbeatable. And they'll get 13,000 people into that arena without having to worry about making any promotions. The promotion for those Gamecock fans is the team. You know, I mean, that's a promotion that gets Arkansas fans out to games. But on a Saturday at 2:30 on a game that's broadcast on SEC Network, South Carolina's athletic department is breaking out some of the stops. So, I mean, they're doing what they can to get a crowd there for the game. You know, and I know Arkansas is not ranked in this ball game, so you can't point to, well, the ranked team is coming in, and so therefore you're going to have a big crowd and all that kind of stuff. That's not the case when Arkansas right now isn't ranked. So they're giving away a chance to win $75,000 at the game on Saturday in Columbia. Student tailgate beginning at 1:30, which is 2 hours before tip-off. The student section, they're giving away 500 T-shirts. They have South Carolina legends. I don't know South Carolina basketball legends. I'd have to look that up. But they'll have South Carolina basketball legends.
Ronaldo Blackman. He was a little baller from South Carolina. Yeah,
that's a good one right there, man. But that's a guy who played in the 80s.
No, he played. Oh no, I'm sorry, Ronaldo Blackman. Yeah, but there's a Blackman that played at South Carolina whenever I played.
Okay,
Ronaldo's a different guy. Yeah.
So they're doing pregame autographs from these South Carolina legends and having a halftime recognition and giving away 9,000 rally towels. So at least they're expecting a crowd of over 9,000. I saw the last time they played a home game on Saturday, Carolina had over 13,000 people there. But, you know, here's the thing. If Arkansas plays a great first half, you can get some of those fans going home early. Because, like I mentioned earlier, the Gamecocks have lost 6 consecutive games by an average margin of 17.6 points. And there aren't a lot of bright spots. I understand they have this talented freshman, but I think fans go to the game to watch their team play well and win. And that hasn't happened. So, I mean, don't let them hang around. You know what I mean? It's like, don't let South Carolina get their crowd behind them, because I think they'll have a good crowd based upon these promotions.
I was thinking of Ronaldo Bachman with an E and Ronaldo in the L at a different spot than the Ronaldo Blackman. So it was a couple letters off.
Yeah, that's just a little bit different.
But he played in the NBA. He played at South Carolina. He's the last one I can think of. But you don't think basketball. I think more baseball. You think football and baseball when I think South Carolina.
Well, I know South Carolina gets really good crowds for football at Williams-Brice Stadium. It's no great atmosphere. I've never been there for a football game. I can tell you their baseball park is a lovely place. Founders Park, all red brick.
They filmed the program with at the South Carolina Stadium.
James Caan, yeah.
Yep.
That was at that stadium?
That's where they filmed it, yep.
Arkansas, well, Bet Saracen has their betting line up here. Look at this. Arkansas, according to Bet Saracen, favored by 14.5 points on the road.
Whoa, what I say? I said it'd be about 8 or so. Yeah, I'd have to stay away. That's scary. It's scary. 15 points on the road.
That sounds like a scary stay away, doesn't it? Well, they always have those Arkansas specials that I'm sure they'll get up there at some point soon. Because those are probably the coolest bets, I think, to put up.
Phil, these young kids, it's a real thing, man. The momentum and the gravity, the weight of the situation, and not winning a road game yet. That really will be in the back of their mind. They need to just nip that in the bud now and get that W where you don't have to talk about it anymore. Where that's just not an extra weight, extra pressure. To go win one of these, because we need to win 1, 2. We need to win a couple of these road games if we're really serious about getting a good seed and trying to make a run in March.
Well, let's check and see the rest of the road games left here. So you get Carolina tomorrow. Arkansas is then at Kentucky next Tuesday. So your next 2 are road games, one a little bit easier than the other. Kentucky's played pretty well of late. Then you get Mississippi State at home next Saturday. Then it's at A&M. That's going to, I mean, look, that'll be one that you got to circle and underline in bold and italicize for an 8 o'clock Wednesday tip at A&M against a team you've already beaten. Home against Florida and Georgia. And then, you know how you end the season at Alabama, at Tennessee, and home against Kentucky. So, I mean, just looking at this here, you get some really tough places to play after tomorrow. Because I don't think Colonial Life Arena shouldn't be a place under this team, under this Carolina team, that you view as like a house of horrors. But Rupp, I mean, you can say what you want about the atmosphere at Rupp. Kentucky plays well at Rupp. At A&M, I think that's going to be a really tough
They won't pay
game.
back. That game's going to be fresh in their mouth, too. That taste will still be there whenever we go play at College Station.
And then you got to go to Coleman in Tuscaloosa, and you got to go to Thompson Bowling in Knoxville.
In Athens, do we go to Athens or we don't?
No, you get the Bulldogs here in Fayetteville.
Okay, that's a tough place to play. Yeah,
man. I mean, you theoretically, I mean, just with the thought that it's that difficult to win on the road, and the teams that you've got scheduled on the road. I mean, right now, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee are NCAA basketball teams. They're going to make it to the tournament. That's what I mean. A&M, I guess they still need a little more resume padding because of how awful they were in the non-conference. But they've played well enough in the SEC that they're in the conversation.
I think they're a solid team. The way they rebound, that was just one of those deals. I think travel might have hurt them a little bit, playing Arkansas in Bud Walton. That'll be a totally different game when we go down there.
So 5 road games left. You got to win one.
We need this one.
You got to be like a committee member, and you're looking at a team that's got a resume, and you look at the resume, and it doesn't include one win on an opponent's home court. That can't be good. I don't care what the net ranking in is. Everything. I mean, you got to have one road win somewhere.
Yeah, and then we go to the SEC tournament and see how we do there. Speaking of basketball, do you see the guy Brooks, that guy from Memphis that was trying to get in it with Shannon Sharp, take a cheap shot at Donovan Mitchell? And it's just like, Brooks, bro, what? Like, why you keep doing this, man? Nobody thinks you're hard. Nobody thinks you're tough, dude.
Well, at least he didn't challenge somebody on the side of the court.
Shannon Sharp would have squashed him like a bug.
Greatest cardigan. Yeah, but he's got Steven. Is Steven Adams always going to be there?
Steven Adams, he would have. That dude is. Yes, he is. He's like your guy in No Country for Old Men, walking around with his. He is definitely the villain. He's scary.
You can get in your questions for Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen in a moment here at 877-377-6963. They also have right now on that app a Hogs in the NBA special. Daniel Gafford and the Wizards opening today. And any one of 5 different prop bets involving Daniel Gafford. And you can only get that at Bet Saracen on your Apple iPhone or on any Android phone. We'll talk about Bet Saracen and some Super Bowl bets and Razorback bets right after this.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Have a loan with a variable to balloon rate? That might be a problem if it's due to reprice soon. Let Farm Credit fix your problem with a long-term fixed interest rate loan. Farm Credit's terms are the longest in the ag industry, ensuring you'll have peace of mind for years to come. At Farm Credit, you have nothing to lose. When rates begin to drop, you can easily readjust your rate again with no refinancing application, no new appraisals, no new title work. We make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming. and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. Wow World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 Exit 14 in Fort Smith for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18-month same-as-cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Been a quieter week for football, of course, as far as betting is concerned. Didn't have any games. Nobody's worried about the Pro Bowl and things like that. They used to put money on the Pro Bowl, but I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Neil Atkinson joining us from Bet Saracen right now. Hi, Neil. So this was our first week without any real football in a long, long time. So what were the busy sports over at Bet Saracen these past few days?
Well, we had a couple of record weekdays with NCAA and NBA this week. Tuesday and Wednesday were just off the hook. Players had an excellent day on Tuesday with Arkansas's big win. And then on Wednesday, maybe not so good. Tennessee was the most bet game, and that did not go well for the betting public. So, we had a record week in NCAA and NBA basketball handle, which is, you would think that would happen with losing the football. So, and I mean, we're tickled to death. I mean, it's the reception that we're getting on this, and the extra mile that we're going, especially on the Arkansas props that we get up usually about 12 hours before the game. There's many times we have more money on the props than we do the game itself.
Yeah, those ones are maybe a little bit more fun, I think, as far as that's concerned. I got to ask about NBA for a moment here, just because. Like going into a college basketball game, you have a sense of who's going to play as long as you pay attention to the injury report and everything. NBA is a different thing with stars sitting games out just because they might have played the day before. I mean, load management has been an NBA thing for a few years now. So, I mean, does that ever get factored into where you're setting the lines? And because, I mean, honestly, when I look at the NBA and some of the teams with all the stars, it's like I wouldn't know where to put my money or even if I wanted to in a lot of cases.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why, basketball is not like football where the lines usually go up, within hours after the week wraps up. Basketball usually is a 12 to a 24-hour, depending on the data. And that's why they wait long, because they wait as long as they can and they have enough information on who is going to play and who's not going to play. And it's not just that just doesn't affect sports betting. You've got a lot of people that will, they maybe will only go to one or two NBA games a year, and they buy a ticket, hoping their kid's going to see the star, and they sit out and they're disappointed. And sports bettors are the exact same way. You anticipate a star player playing, and then they don't start, or you find out at the last moment. Yeah, it changes, and it makes it a little bit more volatile in your bet. So, unfortunately, we can't control that. That's the player and the team's decisions, and many times it's a game time decision.
Some of these prop bets on the Super Bowl, when will you get? Do you have some of those out? I was looking at some around, and I was wondering, when do y'all get your prop bets for the Super Bowl out?
Oh, we've got a full menu. We've got, I think, 94 different prop bets
my
right
goodness,
now
yeah,
that are up. I mean, everything from the coin toss. Now, we're not doing national anthem or halftime show antics this year. We're exploring about it, but right now the regulation basically. If there's an NFL published stat on it, we can create a betting market around that. If there's not an NFL published statistics, it's a little bit hard. It goes into a gray area, and we kind of default not to be afoul of any of the regulations. But that being said, I mean, the menu that we have up right now for the props, we are especially proud of. We're not quite done yet. Matter of fact, I think we're going to put the octopus bet up later this afternoon or sometime next week. And the reason why we're doing that is because we had players specifically ask for that one. And the octopus bet is if a player scores the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. So they score 8 points. So for some reason that has caught the attention of our bettors, and hey, we can offer it. So we're going to put things like that up. And we like hearing from our players so we can put that content that they want and they need.
Neil, thank you for the definition of octopus bet, because I had no clue what that was about.
I thought maybe it was eight catches. Yeah, I thought
with octopi, you'd say the Red Wings.
First receiver to have 8.
Well, it used to be you needed 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup, and that's why Detroit Red Wings fans throw an octopus on the ice at the start of the playoffs. You need a lot more than 8 wins now. So I didn't really know what direction that was going.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I had to ask also when the traders goes, hey, are we okay with the octopus bet? I'm like, I thought we were doing Super Bowl, not the All-Star Weekend or something like that. So, I had to look it up too and get educated on it myself. But enough of our players knew about it that they asked us for it. So here we are. We're going to have that up shortly.
What do y'all have on the over-under for the sack totals? Because we were talking a little bit about that, and I know Philadelphia had 4 guys get over 10 sacks this year, and then another one at 8. I mean, just all over. And you got Patrick Mahomes that has the bum ankle. What is that sack total listed as?
Here, I'm having to scroll through it. I mean, I got 90 bets to scroll through.
I understand. I was
total, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got I've got a bunch of markets on it. I got Kansas City, Philadelphia, team to record the most sacks, team to record the first sack. We'll just start with total sacks by Kansas City. The over and under is at 2.5. Total sacks by Philadelphia, same 2.5.
Oh,
although that one's minus 140, so you're not getting as much return if you go with the over on that one. The team to record the most sacks, you got the Philadelphia Eagles at minus 130, Kansas City at plus 105, and
And Neil, I was going to say, do you remember this Denver-Seattle game? Speaking of the octopi bets that you had, the game started with a safety. When did anybody have any bets on that? When they snapped the ball to Peyton Manning over his head, and then they just ran. The opening score was a safety. That has to be pretty I mean, not really. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. Now, I was in Mississippi at that time, and we did not have sports betting up and running at that time. But I did run a poker promotion where if a safety was scored during the game, during the Super Bowl, everybody at the table won $1,000. And it blew my budget for that promotion basically on the first play of the game. I had a very, very happy poker room that night. They didn't really care who won the game after that one. So that was a fun one. And those bets are what makes it really entertaining. And the thing about the Super Bowl is you may have people that won't place a bet on anything all year long, but they'll make an exception for the Super Bowl. So if you're thinking about getting a friendly or a serious Super Bowl wager, get the app downloaded, especially if you want to look at these props. I don't recommend looking at these props just before kickoff at the last minute. There are so many, like 90 plus, and then you combine that with the regular player props that every game has. I think there's over 130 different bets that you can make other than the outcome of the game right now. So you want to study that, and that way you can have some fun. And then don't forget, this is our first Super Bowl in Arkansas. We can bet from our couches or wherever we're at our Super Bowl party. So you'll be able to do that from your phone, and you'll be able to do it while the game's going on. So you can have a lot of fun with this, and we're looking forward to it.
What sort of movement has there been on the good old-fashioned game line since last Sunday? Because I see right now Philly is favored by 1.5, and I don't know which way to go, and I just kind of wonder where the money's been going for the last few days.
Well, I can tell you, so some late money is starting to come in on Kansas City because it's been at Philadelphia -2 for most of the time. And if you look at the nationwide statistics as of yesterday, I haven't gotten the update. Up until now, over 80% of the point spread money has gone to the Philadelphia Eagles of everybody that's in my database. The funny thing is that if you go to the money line, it's almost 50-50. It's 53% Philadelphia and 47 on Kansas City. So, that line is just so close together. So, I mean, it going down a 1.5, you're going to see it probably wobble many, many times between now and next week, unless there's a major story about a player or an injury or something like that happens between now and then.
We got to do a parlay. Hogs win, South Carolina, Kansas City wins the Super Bowl. I'm excited to next week when we get to talk to you to see where everything's at as well. That over under at 50 to me with both these offensive just so explosive, it seems low. Seems low to me. What's the over under with you guys?
Well, we got it at 50.5 right now. So that's where it is. It's pretty much stayed stable. But, a lot of people like to do stats. The last 4 Super Bowls have gone under in the total. So, what does that mean? I don't know. Each individual event has its own set of circumstances, but that's just been the trend. So that's where we're at on that particular one.
Neil, obviously, as a sports book that operates inside the state of Arkansas, you get probably more money on Razorback games than anything else. During college basketball season, what are some of the other teams that your customers in Arkansas have put money on? Has it been SEC specific? Has it been like some of the national brands like Duke or Kansas? I mean, where are some of the other? What are some of the other teams people have shown interest in?
Well, the reason I know this pretty good because with football season ending, we were looking on how we were going to keep football bettors engaged. So we were analyzing where is our bets and where is our coverage done. Well, no surprise that Arkansas is the #1 bet team in college basketball on the Bet Saracen app. And then I've got the next 7 in the order, but number 2 is not an SEC team. And would you care to guess which one that one might be?
Houston.
Kansas.
Nope.
Purdue.
Texas.
Texas.
My
Texas is our
my next
number
guess was
2
going to
most.
be Arkansas State.
No. Arkansas State is, I think it's in the top 10 because we do focus them on the app. But the non-SEC team, number 2 is Texas. But I'll just round it out. The number 3 most bet team on Bet Saracen is Kentucky, followed by Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, and then, surprisingly, LSU.
LSU?
LSU, that's correct.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because, Arkansas borders Louisiana. So
what about any soccer bets? Any Champions Leagues kind of getting back up? I saw Kylian Mbappe with PSG. That has Messi and Neymar. They're taking on Bayern Munich, the juggernauts of Germany. But Kylian Mbappe's hurt that first leg. Do y'all get any soccer bet? Because that's a 2-legged event as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, our most bet in soccer is the English Premier League. Premier League is just what gets the attention. I think that has to do with what's on TV too in the early morning hours, especially on Saturday and Sunday. So the Premier League, and because people know those names, they know Arsenal, they know Chelsea, they know Manchester United, Liverpool. Those are names that are familiar with the casual bettor. Of course, the serious bettors. We offer it all. I mean, we offer La Liga, Series A, League One, the UEFA, and all of that. So, soccer, the World Cup really got a lot of attention. Now, when we get in the NFL playoffs and college basketball, it kind of pulls the attention away from it a little bit. But we really do love our soccer action.
Did that jump up from the World Cup, or has it just kind of been steady from before and after the World Cup?
Since the World Cup, there's been an overall about 20% increase in the soccer handle pre-World Cup. So, and a little bit of that has to do with what the seasons are lining up, compared to before and after. So, that's about where it is.
I told Neil, Matt, that I wanted to ask him, how does one become, a person who sets odds for a living? How do you become a bookmaker for this? But then the answer was really more interesting when you texted me about it earlier today, Neil, is that artificial intelligence is really kind of taking over in some areas. I mean, you can write poetry. Artificial intelligence can do a lot. Is that the direction that sports gambling is going in?
Absolutely. Several of the national platform operators have been in the news, and they have actually publicly announced that they are moving away from human physical traders and are going to rely on the algorithms and the artificial intelligence models that they have for this. Now, I think after it all said and done, you're going to have probably a hybrid. You're probably going to have human interaction to be able to account for anecdotal things that may happen or breaking news events and things of that nature. But really, our data providers are actively soliciting us to move to that model. We don't know if we're ready for that yet because of the tremendous success we had of not being the cookie cutter and letting a computer just feed us and us putting it out there. I mean, we actively manage our lines and our content, and we feel that's one of the big service differentials with the Bet Saracen platform. And frankly, it's what our players have told us they like best about us, is that specialized Arkansas-specific content, and we can be creative and put those markets out there. We can run polls on our Twitter account and put the bets together that people vote on. So that gives us that flexibility that maybe AI doesn't have that human interaction point of it. Now, to get back, there's still going to be a good place for us. You've got to love math. You've got to love numbers, and you've got to love to watch a lot of sports to be a bookmaker. And also, one of the other things is that you have to have a thin skin. You're going to have people that have different opinions from you, and people weight different data points differently. And that's why we all try to come to a consensus. And the nice thing is when we come to a consensus, you'd be surprised on how close we get to the actual outcomes within 1, 2, and 3 points when we do our math models on it.
Well, the way you describe the thing, the aspects you got to contain in order to do that, it sounds like sports radio in some ways too. So Arkansas favored by 14.5 points at Carolina tomorrow. That's a mighty big number. But then again, Carolina's losing the last 6 games by an average of almost 18 points. So I can see where you're coming from.
Yes, and I think that was the biggest factor of that particular line. I had it, when I did my math before the data line came out, I had it probably around 12 is what I had it at, and then the data lines from the feed pushed it out at 14.5. So I went ahead and stuck with that. I'll let the bettors decide if they want to move that line up or down or not. By the way they bet it. So, but South Carolina, they've got that one blip on their schedule is their only SEC win is at Rupp Arena, which was a shocker. So, anything can happen. And just look what happened to Tennessee. Tennessee was a 4.5 favorite against Florida on Wednesday. And that last 5 minutes of the game, they just basically gave it up and lost that game significantly after they just achieved the number 2 ranking. So, South Carolina, their women's team, don't bet against them.
No.
But the men's team have had its struggles, but there are some good athletes on that team, and they've shown that they can step up when the time is right.
Neil, appreciate you jumping on with us on these Fridays. Looking forward to it a week from today, and we'll get heavy into those prop bets of the Super Bowl. Have a great weekend.
All right, stay safe, and everybody bet with your head and not over it.
I like that. It's a little Casey Kasem to finish,
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
Feet in the ground.
Head in the clouds.
Head in the star. Well, no, reaching for the stars is what Casey always said.
Yeah.
But trying to listen to top 40 music is not quite the same as deciding where you're putting money on sports, for certain. Again, that's the Bet Saracen app. They've got it for Apple iPhone, Google Play. Download it to any Android phone. And it is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. You can also use any web browser, betsaracen.com. Call us, text us, 877-377-6963. The home stretch approaching, and halftime is right back.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
Is your job recession-proof? Now might be the perfect time to switch careers and become an IT professional with My Computer Career. IT is listed as one of the top recession-proof professions. You could have your dream job in just months, not years. No experience needed. Take classes online or on campus. And financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's gray with an A.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The best selection of Ford Broncos is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. You've probably seen them on the road. You want one for yourself? Ford Broncos are here in Salisaw.
Yes, Tommy, we're excited. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you need to get down here and see us. We have 3 Bronco Sports that are available, and they are not being sold over MSRP. We have a Bronco Black Diamond Edition that has not been spoken for. It's, what's the color of that, Trey? That's that really cool green color, isn't it? Yeah, eruption green. We've also got 3 Mach-E Mustangs that are not spoken for either. So come down here and see us. We've got some awesome inventory right now of new Fords.
Plus, you've got great financing through the factory and great selection right now. So if you're looking for a Bronco or you're looking for a Mustang, this is the place.
Yes, definitely. Mach-E Mustang, we got 3 of them. Bronco Sports, we got 3 of them. And we've got a 2023 hardtop Bronco on the way right now.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Days away from the start of the college baseball season. We're within 2 weeks. In fact, 2 weeks from right now, you'll be getting pretty close to Arkansas and Texas. That game is a 7 o'clock game at Globe Life Field 2 weeks from today. I will not be on the call because I'll be with women's basketball, and Brett Dolan will be there with Bubba to broadcast the game. One thing I know about baseball season coming up is that we are going to be joined by former Razorback pitcher James Teague every Friday at 12:15 to discuss Arkansas baseball and maybe just baseball in general. You remember James pitched for the Razorbacks parts of 3 years, part of the 2015 College World Series team, and had a short pro career. He's now lawyering. That's right, part of the Teague Law Firm, along with his father, Robert. They've been around for nearly 30 years, voted Best of Northwest Arkansas twice, 2019 and 2021. James can help with most family law matters, divorce, custody, and child support. Also can help with criminal law. That includes felony and misdemeanor offenses. If you have estate needs, James at Teague Law Firm can also help fill that need as well. They're a full-service law firm. You'll talk to actual lawyers, and they will call you back. So you can call Teague Law Firm at 479-531-2785, 531-2785, or you can go to teague-law.com. The Teague Law Firm, I love their slogan at the end. If we can't help you, they'll talk baseball. That's basically the way I view my life, too.
And not to get confused with the guard, Jeff Teague, that's has been in the NBA for a while. Absolute stud, Jeff Teague, been playing. Not to get confused, though.
Yeah, it was not. We tried to, about this kid Philon who committed to Auburn from Alabama, whether or not he's related to Darius Philon, and I don't know if he was or not. I also know that Jared Wegner has been named a preseason All-American by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. As a second-teamer, Arkansas has got 3 players that are second-team All-Americans preseason, depending on the publication that you're looking at. And this is the latest one, Jared Wegner, who is the transfer from Creighton. He's never had a fully healthy season until last year, and he still only got into 49 games out of a possible 56. .348 batting average. His on base over .460, had an OPS over 1.1, so that's pretty darn good. Power, 11 homers, 52 RBIs. Tell you what, I feel really good that he's going to hit more than 11 home runs because their ballpark, the ballpark that Creighton plays, Matt, is also the home of the College World Series. It's the same stadium. It's Charles Schwab Field, and it is a pitcher's park.
Mm-hmm.
It's big. It's deep. It's got major league distances, and the wind usually blows in. Usually when we're there for the College World Series in June, the wind blows in, and it just makes it a graveyard. So I can imagine any kid that played at Creighton that is going to play anywhere else, because I don't know of any other park in college baseball that favors pitchers anymore, other than maybe Globe Life Field. I mean, where the Hogs open up the season. That's a pitcher's ballpark too. Wind doesn't affect it there at all. It's an indoor ballpark. It just has big dimensions. I think Brady Slavens was the only player to hit a home run in a game involving Arkansas when they played there a couple of years ago. So those two stadiums, and you don't play in them all the time, but Wegner played all of his games or all his home games there the last 4 years. Baum-Walker Stadium can certainly be a hitter's ballpark. Depends on the way the wind is blowing. Right-handers to left field. It's pretty rare the wind knocks it down towards left field. I think Jared Wegner will have a pretty big season for the Razorbacks. And, I mean, I think he's going to be a guy that bats fourth or fifth in the lineup. That might depend on who's hitting ahead of him, because there are enough left-handed batters where you don't have to have righties stacked up with each other in the lineup. That's one thing I like about this lineup, or the way the lineup could be constructed, Matt, is I think it'll be pretty tough for managers to, match up with lefties and then keep the lefty in the game, because you'll have a good right-handed hitter coming up, after a Jace Borfin or after a Peyton Stovall or a Brady Slavens. At that point, you get like a Tavian Josenberger, who I think is going to hit pretty well for this team, a right-hander, or a Jared Wegner, a right-hander. So I think it's going to match up pretty well for Arkansas as far as not having too many lefties, not having too many righties in that lineup this year. And that means something in that sport.
I'm pretty excited to see this baseball team play. And I had a point guard, number 14. We got 14. Everybody knows Clint Sterner. I think the 14, you Razorbacks, you think 14. But I had a guy named Johnny Rogers, who was our point guard at Van Buren, number 14, whenever you hear the number.
According to a couple of websites, because I can't ever remember.
Pete Rose was 14, I think.
That was one I was going to mention, was Pete Rose. Oscar Robertson wore number 14. Ernie Banks wore number 14.
Ernie Banks. Ooh.
It's a pretty good one there, isn't it? Jordan in Branson texts to us that he umpired games that Jared Wegner played in middle school. That's good. That's good, Jordan. Could he hit home runs at Baum Stadium in middle school? I'm imagining the kid probably could hit a lot then. Although, keep in mind, you go to Creighton, I don't know how heavily recruited you are coming out of high school if you end up going to play to Creighton. It's nothing against Creighton. They've been to the College World Series once. But, this is it seems like somebody was a late bloomer. And I don't even think he's bloomed to where he probably can bloom this year as long as he's healthy. This is somebody that could be already as a preseason second-team All-American, which to me means that he's got the talent to be a first-team postseason All-SEC player. Hopefully that is the case. Tell you what is the case is that we have come nearly to the end of what's been, I don't know about you guys, but this has felt like a longer week than just 5 days.
It was definitely a different week. That's yes, it was. Little snowstorm, little ice storm. It was all right, though. It was all right.
Well, and I never lost power. I know some of our listeners did. But the great melt of 2023 is upon us. And I don't mean a sandwich, and I don't mean cheese dip. So you folks who listen in Little Rock, you're never going to convince me the city of Little Rock or anybody that has anything to do with the city of Little Rock invented the art of melting cheese and dipping chips into it. So we'll wrap halftime up right after this.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sportsbook in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line.
Next hour or two, and Ruskin and Zach are standing by to entertain you on this very radio station from 2 until 7. So yeah, this has been a different sort of a week, that's for sure. So that means I just got to go get the kids. And it was funny too, like my daughter kept wondering if it was a joke that they were going to school just for one day, one last day.
You already gave me 3 days off. Give me one more day off.
Like, trust me, you don't want another day just stuck here in the house. There is such a thing as cabin fever, and I've felt it for the last few days. So I'm excited for this warm up and get it going outside. And look, I don't mind cold weather. I just hate when we just end up having to stay inside our houses for as long as we have for these last few days. And it really wasn't all that bad either. Like, I think in Fayetteville, Northwest Arkansas, yes, it took a lot longer for the
some people had a couple of days. Yeah, a couple of days without power.
It took longer up there. For the River Valley and Central Arkansas, we really started to melt pretty early this morning. So
it was all good, soup weather.
That's right. Well, you can eat again. You can have soup weather in
by Sunday to be golfing weather again. So it'll be out there to hit the links.
It's running weather too. Like, this is the sweet spot for good running weather.
Feel like you can get some good work in.
Get me something in the mid 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really good about that. It's perfect. Just cool that sweat the moment that it comes off of your skin. Just feels perfect. So
when you travel to the hotels a lot, Phil, one of my favorite things I love hotel life. I really do. Hotel life can be a fun, good life. Do you get a workout in at the training facilities at your hotel, or when you go to the stadium? Do you ever run, or because you're kind of around it a little bit?
I'll use the fitness center.
Yeah.
In each of the hotels, as long as it doesn't look like they've got any death traps. Like, there's a couple of hotels where you're like, wait a minute, there's a little too much condensation because you're right next to the pool here, and
well, I'll get on a treadmill and my head's gonna hit the ceiling. Like you're kind of ducked in and stuff. So I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I never have that problem. I've never had that issue before.
Throw on a soccer game. In a lot of them, they have the TV right there. You throw something on and kind of get your 40 minutes in.
So you like the hotel life. How long what's the longest stay that you've had in one hotel?
Oh man, not that way. 3 days, three, keep it moving as far as for one room.
When Arkansas played for the College World Series Championship in 2018, we were in that Marriott in downtown Omaha for 18 days straight.
When I trained for the Combine, I was in the same hotel for 6 weeks. I mean, you're in
that's what I mean. You got me beat there. But the same hotel for 6 weeks?
That was back, I'd play a lot of online poker back then. It's kind of when the poker boom started out, do a lot. I mean, you kind of, because you can only work out so much, and you're in New Jersey. I don't know anybody in New Jersey,
Groundhog Day was yesterday, but that sounds like 6 weeks of it for you. Man. And I thought last year we had 33 days in a hotel out of 37 days during the college baseball postseason.
We had food, food per diem, ate a lot of California rolls, learned how to use chopsticks.
Well, at least you don't have to do your own bedding laundry, right? We'll just take care of it for you. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's been great. Thank you for Christian. Thank you for Matt. I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy.